Okay, boom, there we go. I don't know if it's recording or not.
Yes.
Just send me a notification.
Yes.
You got a notification that it was recording?
Yes.
Okay, good. So then, all right, we're in good shape. All right, so you see my desktop, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, which is a mess, but I like it like this. All right, let me go to the web now. Can you see that? Okay,
Yes.
good. All right, so I want to make sure everything's right. So let me kill some of these windows that I have, like that one. And this thing is getting on my nerves, so let me move this thing. I need to undock this thing. Hold on. This really gets on my nerves. Where is it at? Floating panel. I need to hide my floating panel. There we go. Good. Now, let me kill this. And let me kill this. And let me kill that. So now we're down to just Google. So first off, I'm going to show you. You already know you have to have a domain. Okay, so I'm not going to go through that. That you have to go get a domain at GoDaddy, whoever you want to get. Okay. And I never push my own services to begin with. I never sell anything, even though I'm a registrar and a host. So I'm assume that you have a domain name, and I'm going to assume that you have hosting someplace. Okay. So I'm going to go into a hosting account. Mine's a little different than most of yours because I'm a reseller. So, but I'm going to go into some hosting and let me log into some control panel. And I'm just going to log into the client that I'm actually using, since we're using her as an example. Julie. Nope, Julie. I hope I spelled it right. So I'm going to log into hers. And you might see something called a C panel. But my panel's a whole lot better because I've been doing this before and had C panel stuff happen. Okay, so no matter what you have, you're going to have to log into some installer of a host. I own a company called Business in Black, by the way. I keep your internet business out of the red. Doesn't mean that I sell stuff only to Black people, which people call me and ask me that all the time. It's so crazy. Anyway, so you have to go to some installer. So I'm going to go into some application installer, and you're going to pick WordPress. Okay. So in your case, Carolyn, and if I can call you Carolyn.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay. You're going to install WordPress in some folder. Okay. Normally when you install WordPress, it's based on your domain name.
Wait,
okay.
Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Hello. Yeah, I'm in class. I'm just letting you know I'm in class, and I'll be here until 6. Yes, I'm actively in class. So I'll talk to you later. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, human. All right, so when you try to install WordPress from these installers, it's going to ask you where to install it. So you want to install it on the base domain that you own. Okay, that way when you go to the website, it'll be your domain.com, .live, whatever, and that's where your website's going to be. Now, if your domain is not pointing to your host, you won't have that ability.
Okay.
So you first got to get your domain tied to wherever you're hosting it. And you do that by changing its DNS or its name servers to point to whatever that new host is using. Okay, so it's just like having your phone number attached to the phone that you just bought. So you got to have that happen first. Once that's connected, then you can go to your host and go ahead and install that website on that domain. And notice that I asked you in what directory. Well, you want to put it in the root, no directory, unless you're going to have it at your domain / some folder. In this case, we're not going to be in a folder. We just want it when somebody goes to your website, your domain name, it just becomes the website. Instead of having to go to your domain, like in your case, .live / some folder name. Okay, so we got rid of the folder. Okay, it's just like something on your hard drive. Then once you have it set up, it'll look like this, whether it be something that's secure or not. If it's secure, it's going to say HTTPS versus HTTP.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you want to have it an S, you need to pay for that secure socket because it's going to come up and say, this website's not secure. Do you want to continue? A lot of times. Well, it just stops your business right away. People think you're a crook, right? So let's say you've done all this, you put in your password, all these different kind of things. Some of the stuff's going to be automatic, you know, where you set up your database. I personally would change the database name to something else because these crawlers, these hackers will assume it's going to be left by default like this. I always change that just because just one less step, you know, or one more step for the hacker to get through. Then once you do that, you hit install, and then you're going to get something that says, you know, welcome, it's done, blah, blah, blah. And you'll be able to go over to your site like this. Let me go to juliebear.com. I have it locked right now, so I'll have to unlock it. See, it's under construction right now. So I'm going to make it not under construction. So you'll see it comes to some website. Now let me log into this and turn off the under construction stuff. Actually, I'm not going to do that. That way we can see it, but no one else can see it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me log into this thing, turn this off so you guys can't see it, just in case you're criminals.
I always have a tendency to look away when someone's typing, just out of habit.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go back to the site. So this is what you would have seen if it was an open site. Okay. It's Julie Blair. It's just basic. I've installed a theme, and I'll tell you about a theme in a bit. But anyway, let's say your site is there and it's ready, and you need to log into it like I did, which was the /admin business. We'll get at that later. And here's your site. Okay, you notice that the domain itself is where the site is hosted. Notice that it has a lock because I told her to get her secure socket to make sure it's a secure website. On top of that, because she's going to be doing some e-commerce stuff. E-commerce is, you know, where people buy online and you pay through a shopping cart, blah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. So that's also going to be at this site. So let's go ahead and now start looking at WordPress itself, the anatomy of WordPress. So when someone comes to your website, they see this. They don't see this little black bar right here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not logged in. When they're logged in, this is called an admin bar. Now, if they're logged in as a user, they'll have this admin bar also, but they just won't have the ability to go back to the dashboard and do a bunch of things that you normally can do. They can log in and control their own user account, change their little image and all that kind of stuff. But as an admin, you have other stuff where you can go and change a lot of things. We're going to go over those. So let's go over the anatomy first of where things are. This is the admin bar. And in the admin bar, you're going to have, of course, the area for WordPress and all their propaganda. Okay. But as you move over, whatever you've named your site is going to say that name. That's like your title of your website, and that stays right in here. So if I change the title of Julie Bear to something else, that's going to change to whatever I changed it to. Underneath of it be the dashboard. I can control themes, which is the way the site looks. I can control widgets, which are basically little micro features that come from the website itself and puts itself on the screen. We can change the menu, and that's how we control this area right here. There's two ways to do menus too, but I'm going to show you area don't do. We're going to use the actual menu function of WordPress because it's a drop and drag moving kind of system, which is the way you want to use it. We can also change the options of this theme, which is not in every theme. Some themes have options to them. Some themes you have to use what's called customize. Okay. This theme is a little more powerful, so it has its own link that has its own option control. If you move over, you see this little message bubble. So if someone actually left a message to the website, because these kind of websites are user driven or have a membership kind of system, it will show that you have some comments waiting for approval. And it have, other than 0, have some number in there. You can also add content to your website by this. Add new posts, which is like your blog post. Add new media, which is data that you'll use on your website in your post. add new pages, which are the static pages to the site. You can add to the gallery if there's a gallery in it. You can add to FAQ if you happen to have an FAQ system. You can actually add a user if you don't let people join, or if you want to just add them manually to the system. So that means that a user can log into your system and actually participate in your website. Okay, if you have it set up that way. You don't have to have it set up that way at all. This is just how website work. I mean, how WordPress works. Now, if I'm looking at a page, like I'm looking at the home page right now, I can also hit this edit, and it'll take me right to this page to edit this page. Okay, or I can do it from internal, and I'll show you in a minute. This under construction thing wouldn't be here, but I actually have an under construction plugin installed. Plugins give the site features. I just happen to have a under construction feature installed. That's why you see this as an option. If I slide over here, let me move you guys out of my way because I have your stuff right here. If you slide over to this side, you'll notice that's my login. I can, edit my own profile. I can log out, or I can also hit this, what do you call it? Magnifying glass, which allows me to search the website. Okay, WordPress is very good like that, because when you search a website in WordPress, it can search every part of the website and bring back what's in the system, versus only searching maybe the blogs. It can search everything. All right, do you understand that so far? Any questions?
I have a question.
Not a rip.
Isn't there a dashboard on the left-hand side as well?
There is a dashboard. We haven't been there yet. We're looking at the website as a user would.
Oh, as a user. Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
So I'm going from the front side, and then I'm going to dump into the back end, which is called the dashboard.
Okay.
All right. So before we go there, you understand that this is the admin panel while you're logged in on the front side of the website, which is what your users will see. If we scroll down, this is the footer area. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we scroll up, this is the body.
Mm-hmm.
On the side right here, which could be different according to the theme, this is a basically a side panel that will control and hold your widgets. This is called a sidebar. There could be sidebars on the right, left. There could be two on the right, could be multiples, could be all over the place. Okay, but these little guys are called widgets. All right, this right here's a search bar widget. This is a recent post widget. This is a recent comment widget, an archive widget, a categories widget. You sort of get the message. Okay. We can control those widgets from within the dashboard. So now that we understand where things are and what things are, we're going to go move into the dashboard. Now, when I do this as a developer, I will leave the front end up, and also I put the dashboard up at the same time in another tab. That way I don't have to keep going back and forth and back. I just flip between tabs and just refresh it and see what I got. So I'm going to right mouse click this here, and I'm going to right mouse the dashboard and open it up in another tab.
I have a question.
Okay.
So basically, you're saying that you can edit it from the user's perspective or from the back end, and this is just for convenience. Or actually, if you have a host, if it's on a hosting site, then you can do this. But if you don't have it on a hosting site, you can only edit from the back end.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And matter of fact, if you don't have it self-hosted, you won't have the ability to put these plugins and themes in, except for the ones they already have in the system.
So you actually have to put your domain on the host before you start to do any editing from the front.
That's exactly right. Now, there is a way to do it offline, but you have to install your own PHP server and all that kind of stuff, and then it's just a pain. So what I do is I do it live, and I just turn it off for people to see. I put it under construction, so all they see is what we saw earlier, which was it was under construction. You know what I mean? While I'm building it, then once I get it right, then I activate it, and then everybody will see it. Okay, so right now we're looking at, and I'm gonna close some of these tabs. I don't need this tab open no more, or this tab. So right now I have two tabs. I have what people will see, and I have the dashboard. Okay, this is the dashboard back here. So now to get to the dashboard, I'd have to go and hover over and hit dashboard. So I'm going to assume that I did that, and bam, this is what I get, is the dashboard of this same site. Notice we have the same little bar. Now the bar is a little different because we're in the back end of the site. We're going to see something a little different. Like for instance, now we can see visit site when we hover over the name, which would be the same thing as clicking that. But if we did that, we'd be going back and forth and back and forth. So I just leave that like that, and I'll just flip between the two and just hit refresh if I want to see a change. So I'm in the dashboard right now. And the first thing we'll go over is the dashboard. On the dashboard, we see these little window panes. Okay. In this case, we have a few there already. And I don't know what that was.
That was my, I live on a very busy street. I'm sorry. I got to
All right. So we have these little windows. These little windows can be controlled by up here where it says screen options. So we hit this and roll it down. You can see we can turn on and off these things are on these windows. Site health, at a glance, activity, quick draft. I never use quick draft because it's stupid. So I'll turn that off. I never use WordPress events and news because I don't care what they're doing. Okay. The welcome screen normally comes up and I turn that off because I don't care. Then you can just, move that out of your way, roll it back up. And you can pick these up and drag them however you want in this dashboard. Okay, so pick up that header and you can move them wherever you want, however you want to see it. Okay. So that's that part. At a glance, this shows you things on your website that's going on, like how many posts, comments, and pages you have. The health, I never look at that either. But right now the health is good. Activity will show you your recent comments and the recent posts and things like that. You can roll those up or down too. What am I doing here? Okay, here we go. All right. So now let's move on to in the dashboard's menuing area. Now, I'm not going to go through them in series because they don't make sense. So I need to go with them in the order that sort of works for the site. Okay. But I'll go over each one of them. And at the first point, I'm just tell you what they are. Posts is the same as a blog post. Okay. A blog post is something that you post like your news or whatever it is. And it's not a temporary thing, but it's not a static page. A static page is something like your home page. Well, let me back up. It might not be because you might have your home page as static post. As posts flowing around. But a static page would be something like contact us. That's sort of a static page. It's always there. About us. That would be a static page. Okay, so it's always present. Posts are things that you submit, and they will go into an area where your post would show. In this case, I have posts. If I flip the website, I have posts going into a page called blogs. So every time I make a blog post, they're going to show up on this page. I just happen to have one that's installed when you first happen, which is Hello World. We click on that. It'll show you what's in that post. It's the Hello World post. It has junk in it. It has whatever comes with the site. People can comment on it and all this other kind of stuff. That's what that is. We go back to the dashboard. Posts can have categories to them. The reason why, and I'll tell you a nice site that does that is like any news site. You go to the site, you go to the posts are broken down up by, events, science, weather, whatever it is. That's the categories of those posts. Okay. Tags are like little keywords that you put on stuff. A good site for that would be like if you go to Netflix, you have categories, but then you have keywords like, you want to search a movie by a certain author or whatever. Those are like the little keywords that you can put in there, or if it's horror or whatever. Now, pages, on the other hand, are your static pages. They do not have categories. They are just pages. They don't have categories and they don't have tags. I don't know why although on the inside, you might be able to do that.
Are they static? Though pages are static.
Pages are static.
Okay, like about us, welcome.
Yeah, maybe. And sometimes welcome doesn't even do that because some people put their blogs in welcome. So yes, it can be anything you want, but it doesn't change like this. Also, posts have work on a philo system, first in, last out. So as you post and you post again, that other post moves down in the order. You get it? So if you go to the blog page, you'll see all these blogs, but they've been moved in and out according to the order they've been put in. Okay. First in, last out, Philo. All right. This theme just happens to have an FAQ system. Okay. All themes don't have to have an FAQ, or you could install a plugin that happens to you have an FAQ. An FAQ is just a facts type question system where you ask the question and you give the answer. Okay. So you'll say, I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, you'll see these on all kind of sites. You go to the FAQ area, some common question, you have all these different answers for it. Media is where it holds your images, your uploads, your whatever. Okay, and I'll go over media because media is very important because the things you can mess with media to make your site either larger or smaller. Okay, because in WordPress, there's a very powerful feature where when you upload a picture, it produces multiple types of pictures based on the web. It keeps the original, it makes a large and a medium and a small. Some make all kind of different versions, but you can control that so that it can either do that or not. And if you have limited space on the web, it makes sense to control that because everything you upload will have 4 or 5 versions of itself. You know what I mean? And so your site can like run out of space due to number of things, not necessarily space. Some website packages will say you can only have 400,000 things versus so many gigs of space. Okay, so it makes sense to monitor that. Okay. What else? So we went over posts, pages, media, but I'm gonna go detailed into them in a minute. We have the comments. This is where you manage your comments. Remember on the front side, I was saying this right here had a number to it. That's handled inside of comments. So we click on comments, you'll see that there's a holder, a container for your comments. So there's all your comments. There's your comments. There's pending comments. There's approved comments, spam comments, and trash comments. Now, if you know that the comment is a piece of spam, you want to keep it in spam. Don't delete it. Don't put it in trash because it'll just keep coming back. If you leave it in spam, then it'll know that next comment like that is just spam. So put it in spam. You get it? If you trash it, then you want to make sure you dump the trash because if not, it's going to just stay in the trash, become still part of your website, becomes data that's being built up in space of your website. Okay. Now let me back up a little bit and look at posts. If we hit posts, they all sort of look the same, the area and space that contains it. Here are your posts. It's going to save them in some system. They're all your posts. It'll show your published posts. If I delete this, watch what happens. Now it's going to show me that I have all and trash. I don't have anything published. So that's going to, this little menu is going to grow according to what you have. So I can go into trash and I can restore that piece of trash. And now notice, now I got one in draft because it's not been published. I restored it, but it's not published yet. So if I go into drafts and I see that there is a comment here, I mean a post here, I can now edit it. And I can, instead of save it as a draft, I can go ahead and publish it. And now when I look at all posts, notice that there's now one, there's all, but there's one in published. So you're going to build them up according to what you have in the system. That's just the menuing system that's almost for everything in here. For pages, posts, for everything will sort of look like this. Okay. So we want to edit that. Or if we're in pages and look at stuff, notice it looks the same. But if we want to edit it, we just hover over it. We can edit it, quick edit it, trash it, or we can view it. If we quick edit it, you can't do hardly anything to it except for maybe move what category or wherever it's at in the system. You really can't make a lot of, changes per se. So I always ignore quick edit. Okay. But we can edit that page. Let's say we want to edit the home page. Remember what the home page looked like? We go back to home. Notice that's the home page. This data right here, that's what's in that home page. If I want to edit it, I can edit it from either the front page and hit edit page, or I can go back to the back end under pages and look for it and hit edit the page from here. If I hit edit, what comes up is something that looks like a little mini word processor. Okay, there's the title for it, which because it's the home page won't show the title. It's assumed as the .com, .live, or whatever it is, it's assumed. And then, but here's the content for that home page. It looks like a little bitty word. You know, it's got sort of the same kind of things, you know, underline, you can left justify, right justify, do all the stuff you normally would do in a little version of a word processor. You can make this editor much better. You can install plugins that have a much better editor that has drop and drag features and all this kind of stuff. But I'm showing you the base system, okay? They have so many editors for Word, for WordPress. Some of them are so powerful that you can just say, I want a widget. I want a, you know, an accordion thing. You just throw them in there and it just throws them in there. And you can just edit those and that makes your page so beautiful and pretty, okay? But it's all done because the plugin's doing all the work somewhat, okay? But I'm showing you the base. This is the base. Now, if you are a HTML editor like Kimberly here is, she might say, you know what, I don't like this editor. So she can hit this little thing called text and she can write her HTML right here if she likes.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay. And then you can write raw HTML if you want in here. And then when you want to see it, you just hit visual and it'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't, then you can just say highlight stuff. You can hit stuff like bold and italics, and just like you would in Word. When you like what you like, then you go over here to where it says update and you hit update.
And what if you want to put a picture or a photo?
I'll show you. Because it's a content that is in your media, then you would put your cursor where you want it and you'd hit add media.
Okay.
And then you can either upload it from your hard drive. Let me select something. Let me see, here's a picture. No, it's a video. Pick a picture of something. All right, I'm getting ready to make bricks right now. I'm making my own bricks, by the way, from a house, you know, for my little stuff. So I bought this little thing. So let's insert that. So I've uploaded that media to the web, to my cloud. Okay, let me move this thing out of my way. I'm in class, lady. So whenever you upload a piece of media, okay, let's say it's this image, you want to SEO it right away. You want to give it an alt text. So we'll say this is a brick mold. Oh, mold. I spell mold. Mold. Okay. And that's the alt text, meaning when someone hovers their mouse over it, this word comes up. And I want to give it a title. I'll use the same thing. Now, if I put in a caption, it's going to actually put little words on that picture. So I don't want to do that unless I really want to.
Can screen readers read that alt text from WordPress?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Now, in the description, this is also what Google will read. So we can say a brick mold. And when I do this, I'll always say what it is and where it is. I'll say brick mold, you know, at, you know, juliebelair.com. You know what I mean?
So always fill in the alt text, title, and description.
This one don't worry about unless you truly want to put little words underneath the picture or something. Okay, because I'll do that right quick. Let's just do that so I can show you. That actually put a hard code words right dead on the picture. All right, so let's say we got all that. That's the actual URL to it. We can now center align it. We can link it to the picture if I want, or we can link that picture to a custom URL if I want, or whatever. But right now I'm just going to say nothing. It's not going to link to anything. Now notice I uploaded it, but look, I have a file that I can choose. Now remember, I'm trying to insert this into my content, but these are the options I have. So right here, I can pick the full size, medium, or the thumbnail. It creates these versions of that image for me. Now, if this thing was bigger than my full size, it'll produce something that says, I think, actually, no, it'll make full size always. That's the real thing. But it'll produce something called large, medium, and thumbnail. But since this, doesn't break my my large, it won't make a large, because large I think is 1024 by 1024. So it decided not to make a large because the full size is not that big. So I'm going to pick the medium. I'm going to left justify it so that the words wrap around the right side of it, and I'm not going to link it to anything. I'm going to say insert it, and see, it puts it right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, if I were to click on it, I can do other stuff like the same stuff. I can say, you know, right justify it, center it, or don't do anything, and it just sits up there looking stupid. So I'll right mouse click it. I mean, left justify it, and then when I like the way it looks here, I'm not going to worry about this. Oh, so right here in pages, don't worry about this right here. This is really how the menu, the old way menus were. So we're going to say it has no parent. That means it's the top level item. But don't worry about this, because we're going to use the menu system from over in appearances right here. See, menu, we'll use that system when we do it. So ignore that part. Now, there are different kind of templates for pages and also for posts. All these different kind of templates. So we're not going to worry about that. We'll just use the default. This would be if you were going to use it for the menu, you change its order. So it's like a lower or higher order in the menu. So we're not going to use these two things at all, ever. Now in WordPress also, you have something called a featured image. Now, depending upon your theme, featured image will actually show up on the page or won't show up at all. And I'll show you by different themes what I mean. It's an image that represents what's on this page. Okay. Sometimes if you share this to social media, it might use whatever the featured image is, or to use the first image you stuck on the page as the image that you do as a share. You can also do things like make it public, or make it a draft or pending review. Normally you pending review if you have somebody like at a website where lots of people are entering data. They need to, you know, check for spelling and all that kind of stuff before they make it a published thing. You can also make it so it requires a password, that page. If you did that, then you'd have to put in the password and remember what it is, by the way. If you made it private, only an administrator of the whole website could see this page. We'll make it public for now. You can also change the edit date. You can say it was there at an earlier or later date, you know, to fool people. All right. But we're going to leave it the way it is. We can also trash the whole page if we hit trash. If we like this, we can also do things like in this theme, there's multiple things you can do here. This is some stuff for your SEO, but we're not going to mess with this because this is not normal. This is just because this theme is here. And I have a plugin called Fizzly, which allows you to attach your social media stuff to this page. This is great for SEO, but we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so let's ignore that for right now. Okay, this would be the normal way to do it. This wouldn't be here either. So all you would see is this in a normal WordPress system. When we're done with this, pardon me?
When you select an image to go into your site,
Mm-hmm.
Do you select at the largest size so that it's responsive? Like, is it going to be responsive if somebody takes the page down? Will it?
Yes. Well, and that also depends upon the theme. The theme we have right now is actually just happens to be a responsive theme.
Okay, so there are some that aren't.
Yeah, if it wasn't responsive, then you would have to play around with that picture. But this theme is responsive, so it's going to take that picture and move it on its own.
So if someone's looking at it on an iPad or a mobile phone, it'll be okay.
Yes. So let's say I'm happy with this. I'm going to go ahead and update it. Now, instead of me just viewing the page with that link, I'm going to go to my tab and just hit refresh. And notice there's that picture, see?
Mm.
All right, and notice I can't click it. But notice there's the bold stuff right there I did. You know, I picked a little piece of the from right there, you notice. But that's what's there. Okay, notice this stuff is already on the page. If I go back, as a matter of fact, it's not on the page. Let me see something here. Why is that there? Oh, because in the code, notice it says quote right here. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
That quote is making that text be behind a quote. See that? Even though when we look at our visual version here, we don't even see it as quoted, do it.
No.
But if we look at the code, that paragraph has a quote command. See, quote that. So that's HTML right there. If I take this off of here, that one, and then this one, and look at it, won't change anything here. But if I update it,
No, it's the block quote.
yes, if I go back and refresh it,
It's the block quote.
oh, I
Not-
missed it. Oh, I missed
Not the,
it.
you took out the comment instead
Oh, I
of the.
did, didn't I? Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's this one here. That one and this one. All right, you go ahead, you HTML girl, you. All right, so
You.
let me do it again. Let's go take a look again. Refresh it. And now it went away because it's right there. But the other one still had the block quote in it, right? So it's still there. So anyway, that's how I do it. I go back and forth by just, you know, updating here and then flipping over here and then refreshing so I can see what it looks like. Anyway, that's a page. But now if we look at a post, on the other hand, and edit that one, notice it looks the same, right? Except now it has these different features on the side. So it has, of course, it has formats, different kind of formats, and you can play with those. Some formats look better on a page if it's, you know, video, images, or whatever. Okay. But now you can create categories. So let's say this post needs a category. So we can add categories here on the fly, or we can go in here and just make up categories and tags if we like. But I'll say this is just, I don't know, I'll just say the hello category. I can add that category, take it off of uncategorized, and I can add a tag. A tag is just a keyword. So how about hi as a tag? All right, and we can set a featured image here. Let me grab a featured image for this page. I'm going to upload something. Let's see, find something crazy.
Is a tagline and tag the same thing?
No, tagline is actually what shows up right here. See what it says, my site?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually the tagline of this site. That's the title and that's the tagline.
Mm-hmm.
And you can modify that. I'll show you where to modify that at. Remember, alt text and title to be SEO properly, and the description for every image you install, but I'm not going to do it for this one. Let's go ahead and set it. So that's a featured image. Normally a featured image is sort of long, depending upon what that featured image does. So we'll see what this one does. So I'm going to update it. And we're going to go to the site. It's under blogs. Oh, see what it did? So that hello world, the preview, that's the featured image is right there with the blog. So we click the blog. See, the featured image becomes the title, the header picture for that blog, for that post. See that?
Okay.
So that's what that featured image does in this theme for a post. But notice if we go back to our pages, let's give the page a featured image, home page, right? Oh, we did already, didn't we? No, we
It's
didn't.
got that.
No,
brick.
here we go. Let's give it a featured image and see what it does. Because notice I put that in the page, but let's give it the same featured image. Let's update it. Let's see what it does. We just go back home. And notice the featured image doesn't show up because that right there is in the body of the page.
Oh, okay.
See, so what I'm saying is sometimes a featured image will show up and do stuff crazy, and sometimes it doesn't do anything. It depends upon the theme you're using, you know, for what that featured image will do. Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
If I have a logo and I want, like, when someone press that logo to go to my website, is that possible?
Well, yeah. Oh, hold on one second. Someone's saying the training. They don't see the training. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Someone's trying to get in here. and I'll come back to your question.
Okay.
Let me open up, you'll see what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna open up my phone link, which I hope attaches to my phone, because I need to give them this link. So it's trying to connect to it. Although I have my computer, oh, that's the wrong one anyway. That's the wrong thing. I'm trying to see how to send her this link. Hold on one second. Wait, hold on. Are you? Maybe that's why people are having problems. How'd you get here? Through Meetup?
I put it on my calendar, my Google Calendar, and it came up with all this script. I hit that script, I couldn't get in, and then I noticed below it, it had the passcode and the.
But were you immediate? Did you get it from the Meetup website, or where? How'd you know about this?
Oh, Meetup.
Pardon me?
Meetup. Yeah. You're right. Meetup.
Okay, so I didn't see a link for training.
There was a link in the email that sent.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, and they were like an hour late to think about it. That's sort of weird. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll just have to record it. So, all right. So let me go back. So your question was, you want someone to click on what?
My logo and go straight to, if I was on Facebook page and I put my logo on my Facebook page and I'd say click this and it would go to my website. Is that possible?
That will do that by itself. If you share your website to Facebook, it's going to link itself back to your website. And if you happen to have a logo to share, then it will do that by itself. It's automatic. So if I go to Facebook, now a lot of people don't know I'm on Facebook, but I'm incognito. Okay, because I used to be big time over there and I got out of there because it was getting crazy. So if I go to Facebook and let's say I share this, oh, it's not going to work because I'm under construction. So let me just turn it off construction for a minute. So if I share it, and let me do a post. See what it found? It found the first image that's representative of this website. And so if I leave that there, so I click it, it's gonna go right to the website. Okay. But so I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Leave. Okay, so that just happened to be the first image it could find. And it's also this featured image. So depending what you do here, you could put your logo here as your featured image for your home page, and your logo would be the thing that would be shared on the website.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let me turn this off construction again. Let me go back to that page. What page is? So are there any questions at the moment about pages? On how to produce a page? You can say add new page here. You can go into pages, say add new page here, or you can go up here to say plus and add a page. 3 different ways to add a page.
Now, with your media, if you have multiple pictures on the same page and you change one, will it just change the one picture or will it mess with the other ones?
No, it won't. It'll just change one picture. Let's say if we add another picture on this page. Let's see, we add one in the right side, right? Let's add something else. Let's add this one that's already there. Let me pick something that's smaller. Let me right justify it. See, it's there. So I could delete this. I can hit this and delete it. And it doesn't modify it.
Oh,
I can pick it up. I can pick it up and drag it somewhere, even though it's right justified, it'll just slam itself, you know, as far right as it can go wherever I put it. Let me see. See? We got this big gap up here. It'll follow the page.
Oh, just moving it. Okay.
Yeah, now I can grab it too and stretch it if I like. Or I can go in and edit that picture and do all kind of crap with it. You know?
Okay, but it's just the one picture that it affects, whatever you do.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Now,
I
What's
thought I
the
played
size
something
for?
earlier.
what's
I'm
that?
sorry.
Oh my God.
What's the standard size for a picture on a blog or a page?
Well, it showed you. Remember when I tried to upload one? If I edit it, let's say if I try to upload one, you'll notice there's a standard right there. See that? 150 by
Okay.
150 for thumbnails, 300 by 200 for that stuff that's inside of a page. And then a large one would be across the whole page.
Okay.
Notice it created a large with that one. Notice the other one didn't have a large, it had a full size because it broke the barrier of the 1024. Once it breaks the barrier of 1024, it made a new size of a large. So these are our standards right there. But like I told you, you can modify those standards by going into media. And actually it's not in media. This is where you can modify your media, but in settings here under media, you can modify those standards.
Okay.
Now here's where you can play around. If you don't want it to create all these different pictures every time you upload something, you can make this number just humongous, like, you know, 1 million size or something. That way, if it never breaks the barrier, it doesn't create one. Does that make sense?
It's not gonna, like the overlap isn't gonna go off the screen if it's.
No, if you make this a giant thing, then it won't create that thing.
Oh.
So let's say you always upload your stuff exactly the size you want it. Well, you don't want it to be producing all these 3 different things. So you can make them not work by making the number just astronomically huge.
Okay.
So it just won't produce them. Okay. Now I like to do this, crop exact dimensions, because thumbnails are sort of like a square thing, even though it might distort your picture. But you can turn that off right there. Okay. All right. Are we done with how to do pages?
I'm good.
Are we done with how to do posts? All right. So let's move on down to media, because these are the standards. I'm not going to go over things that are not standard. In media, that just shows your stuff. This could be pictures, this could be music, this could be PDF files, whatever it is, you control it here. You can look at it in different ways, in a list way, or in this way. And if you click it, it allows you to modify it. Do all kind of stuff with it. You can edit the picture, and I think you can do all kind of different things with it. You can give it more detail, do all kind of stuff. And you can do this after the fact. So after you've uploaded stuff, you can go back and SEO your stuff right from here. Then we ain't got to go to all the pages, you can just go to all the images and modify them all. Okay. It also gives you the actual URL for that actual image. If we highlight this, put this in a browser, we ought to be able to see it. See? Because that's the actual URL where that image is being stored. Folders and content, uploads is done by date and time and all this kind of stuff. Okay. So that's that. Remember, we went over comments already. We can modify them, adjust them, delete them, whatever you want. The gallery, because this is part of the system, you can produce galleries. If you make a gallery, then you can add the gallery to your website. And it makes something called a short code. So if we were to add a gallery, let's say this is our test gallery. And we put something in here. You add the media to it. We can also hold the control key and get more. It then input those into the gallery. We can go ahead and publish that gallery. Now, if we look at galleries, see those galleries? We can now use those galleries in the system. So you can just say, so as you add a page, you can say, insert that gallery. Okay.
And it'll put everything in that gallery in that page.
Right. And that way you can keep modifying the gallery and not mess with the page if you want. You just go back and modify the gallery and it'll just change on the page. You can also do things like, let's go to a page and see here. We go to all pages, look at a page. This is also something new. Let's see here. So ignore that because that's actually not with this system. So I'm not going to show you this. This is part of the theme. Okay. So ignore what I told you about that gallery. But we can do something like, let's go down to the bottom here and say, and we can say add media. We can create a gallery. This is how you normally would do it. We can upload this media and say, create that. You can tell it how it's going to act, insert the gallery, and there it is right there in the page. We can modify that gallery by hitting edit. See, we can change it and back and forth, add to the gallery or whatever. So that's that gallery. Let me get out of this. Let's look and see what the website would look like if we did it. Let's update it with the gallery in it.
Mhm.
Let me go and look at that page, which is the home page, and refresh it. Notice the bottom has a gallery to it. See, we click it, and those pictures can show up in the gallery. I think it's the dumbest looking thing I've ever seen. So I never used this feature.
With the gallery?
Yeah, I never use it like this. I put things in like sliders and things that move all around, whatever. I don't use that gallery feature, but I'm just gonna go over it because it's here. Okay. If you wanted to do something like add a video, let's get rid of this gallery. I hate it. Let's say you wanted to add a video from YouTube or something. WordPress understands how videos work of all kinds. So let's say we get a picture of let's get something. I hate bringing up YouTube because it might be something I don't want you to see. But you're adults. You never know what's going to show up. Let's say we want this, even though the ad's running. I love this guy, Fluffy. He's so funny. We just take this URL right here, highlight it, copy it, go back to the website, and right here, while you're editing it in the visual mode, you just paste it where you want it, and watch what it does. It knows how to handle it. You see?
Oh, no! Wait, what did you do? You did it quick.
I just took the URL.
Where is the URL?
Just copied it.
Wait, where is the URL?
The URL
Up
is
at the top of the video.
That's the URL of any website. Anything on the internet, this is its page. This is where it is. That's the URL.
Okay.
You copy it. Let me go ahead and click on this and delete it. We just put it where we want to put it. Let me just delete this picture too while we're at it. We can put it in here if we want, and it understands.
Oh, you can put it anywhere.
And
is that like embedded, or is that under? Would it make the?
This is embedded. This is embedded. When we go look at the website, let's see what it looks like. So we go home and look at the website. Notice that, see, it's right there in the page, and you can play it right directly.
Would it make it go slower?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So you have to make sure whatever video you're putting in, like you have that on like your YouTube page, because if someone changes that, it's going to change, right?
Yes, and on top of that, what's even worse is if it's done, look what it shows, all the other stuff that's attached. See?
Oh, yeah.
So how do you not get that? How do you get that out of there? I mean, how do you get stuff by itself?
The only way you can do that is upload it to your own page.
Okay.
To your own website. I mean, to your own YouTube page. Or you can literally upload the video directly to WordPress. You literally could say add media and say upload files. And I could actually get a video. And these are real movies, so I don't want that. Something that's small. Okay, that's big. Here's something that's sort of small. We can, oh, wait a minute, how big is this? That's only 30 megs. How big is this one? Yeah, this is smaller. So let's upload that one. And look, it's uploading to the cloud. And we'll be able to use it. We'll be able to insert. Now that'll be a video that's actually being hosted from your own server.
Okay.
Instead of from YouTube. But if I were you, I would use free servers to host your videos because it burns up your bandwidth. But if you
how do you do that? Use free servers.
YouTube is free.
Oh,
upload
okay.
your stuff to YouTube and use the videos from there instead of upload it to your own server. Because if you upload your own server, it all becomes part of your bandwidth number. And you could bump your head if somebody goes crazy looking at this stuff. See, now it's in the system. See, it's in the system.
So I would upload the video to my YouTube page and then copy the URL and put it somewhere on my page.
Exactly. That's better than what I just did. So now that I did it, it'll show up also, but it's going to come from my website. I mean, it'll play just like normal. See? And I think it's my brother. Oh, that's me. That's me riding my nieces around.
Okay.
And anyway, and it's pausing because I'm also sharing video with you. So I'm burning up a lot of bandwidth right now.
Oh, okay.
So let me click that and delete it, update it. And now if we go back to the site and homepage brings you back anyway, just hitting your logo, your name. See, now it's back to normal. All right, so that was multiple ways to do that. And you can do that with a PDF file, you can do it with anything you want, and it'll just, you place it on your page. You can also link to stuff, like you can just highlight this right here, hit this button right there, and you can put in a URL for something. Like if we wanted that Gabriel thing, we put that URL in here, hit this setting thing to open up in a new window and update it. If we now look at that page, refresh it. Well, it's not done yet, but now it's done. That becomes hot. See it turns into a hand? See that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
if I click it, watch. It opens up another page, and where does it go? Takes me to Fluppy.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever it plays, but that's what it would have taken me to. So that's how you add a link to something outside the site. Now I could have very well linked it to something that's internal to the site. If I internal link it, then I would turn that off and link it to some page inside here. Let's say we want to link it to that blog. Now it's internal. I turn off to open a new page. Now if someone clicks that, if I click that and go here, refresh this page, wait till that stops spinning, refresh it. Now if I click this, it's just going to take me to that blog page. See? So that's called an internal link. The other one was called an external link. All right. Now let's keep on going. Appearances will show you your themes. I just happen to have this theme called Sugar on here. You can get new themes by just saying add new theme. And it goes to the repository of WordPress, which has thousands of themes if you like it. If you like one, you can just click it and just preview it. And it shows you what it might look like. And if you want it, you install it. Now, if you want to see what it looks like with your content, you can actually install it, but don't activate it.
Oh, okay.
But we install it and then do a preview. It's going to try to use our data. Let's try. See now? See, it's using our data that's on here now in that same theme. Notice there's the menus and stuff. You see? If we like it, we activate it, but I'm not going to activate it. I'm going to go back here and go to my themes, and I'm going to click on it and say delete it. I want it gone. So, hey, wait a minute. What happened here? Don't let me do it like that.
Are those free?
Yes. Why won't it let me? Oh, it won't let me do it because I need to go into my own themes, not the public theme. So these are the things I've installed. So now I can click on it and just say delete it. You want to delete all themes that you're not using because that's how hackers can get in on unused stuff. Okay, so that's themes. If you happen to have a theme that you purchased, then you can do add new, and then you can upload the theme by using right here. See, it says upload theme. Then you can choose the file and upload it. And the theme is a zip file. All right. You can customize the theme that you're actually using by just hitting the word customize. And then you're going to have all these menu options of site identity. And see right here where it says Julie Blair, my site. If I change that, then that word right there changes. I can change the menuing system, the widgets that I want put on here. the homepage settings, whether it, takes our blogs as a homepage or a static page. The static page I'm setting to home and blogs. If I hit this, then it'll just show the blog page as the home page. Okay, and you can add CSS if you want, if you're, a coder. Now this theme happens to have something else in it called the theme option menu. All themes don't have that. Now it has all kind of stuff you can do with this theme. Change the fonts in it, the header style, where your logo will show up, theme style, all the colors, the way blogs interact, types of blogs, when you have multiple blogs, how their layout looks, what's going to happen on a blog, what you show on a blog, the galleries that you might want to use, the sidebars, if you want to create new ones or modify them.
A sidebar is like a sidebar menu.
This sidebar, that's a sidebar right there. That's stuff that's inside there. That's a sidebar. Again, it can handle anything. It could be a menu in there, it could be whatever you want in there. Just now, it just happens to have widgets inside.
So those are widgets, right?
There's a widget sitting inside that sidebar. Sidebar can be right, left, top, bottom, wherever.
Okay.
Right? This one, you control the social media stuff. That's the grid, that's gallery, sidebar, footer. You can control what's at the footer of the website. Here's where you can also modify what the footer is saying. You can turn on newsletter system. You can even, this is your login form. You can even modify the way your login looks like with your logo or something. It tells you what to use. Okay, so this theme just happens to have a lot of stuff. Okay.
This is a particular theme. What about like Elementor? I was thinking about using
Elementor. Elementor is even more powerful. I have
drag and drop, right?
Well, it is drag and drop, but you really need to learn the system before you start dragging and dropping stuff.
Oh.
You need to know where stuff needs to go. But Elementor does have a really good builder. That builder can do all kinds of stuff. Elementor comes with a theme that's modified all over the place, and it comes with even an editor that's much more powerful. Okay. You can import stuff. Let's say you want to bring your website over from the .org over to here. You can import stuff here. You can also export stuff here.
Can you put a form on a page? Like
we haven't put a form on a page yet. We haven't done a form yet. But if we do that, see this thing that says contact?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
We can create a form. And see, that's what's called a short code. See that? That short code is a code that you put on any page or post. So let's edit this feedback form. Right now, and this is the number one they use, Contact 7. I don't really like it for my clients because it takes you to sort of understand what's going on. So what I would do is go to plugins and I'd install a new plugin. Let me go to plugins. I'm going to say forms. All this stuff is free also. And I would normally get something like this one here, this one, WP Forms. Let me install it. Now I could have looked at it. If I hit more detail, show you what it looked like. I just have to know what it looks like. So I'm going to install it. I'm going to activate it. Now I can go, see, now it takes me right to it. So I can go ahead and create my first form.
Oh, wow.
And I can choose from some forms they already have in there, some generics, like there's a generic simple contact form. I'll use this one. I can view it if I want, but I'll use the template. Now I have to give it a name. A simple contact form, right? And I can add and drop, I can add stuff to it if I want more things in there. Okay. Like if I want, check fields and whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. And then I'm going to exit out of here, which is going to take me right back to my site. And see, it shows you there's a simple form that I have right there. I could have changed this name or whatever, but all I want is this right here. If I copy that, now I want to make a feedback form page. So I'm going to go ahead and create a page, add a page. I'm going to call it contact or contact us, whatever. And right there, I'm just going to stick that thing right there in there. And since I have it set up so any page I add just goes to the menu naturally, I'm just going to say publish. Watch what happens. I go to the website and refresh myself. Watch what happens. See, there's a page now called Contact Us.
Oh,
I click it. See, nice contact form.
Nice.
Okay. And it's going to go to whatever you set the settings of the email for the site is.
Okay.
So now that I have it, I can move that thing anywhere I want. If a contact form will show up anywhere I want. Now I can modify that form by just going back to W Forms and clicking on that form. And I can edit that form and add other stuff. Let's say I want to add, let me see, a number to it. I can just drop and drag it there. That's a number. Okay, so it's numbered. Now I can modify what that number is, like the description of it, what can it, what's the default value, the logic for it. But notice that once you buy it, if you want to do some like fancy stuff, save it, get out. I can preview it and all that stuff if I wanted to. Go back to where it was. If I hit refresh, watch. See, now there's numbers right here. See? So you can modify your form from that point. So that's the form thing. It's going to go to wherever you tell it in this area called settings. Where is settings?
Yeah.
Settings, under general settings. It's going to go to whatever this email address is right here. So anything going in there, you'll pick it up here. And this, by the way, is the setting of the site. You can do many things. You can do things in many places here the same. But like, let's just go over the settings right quick. Normally this would be already set up for you, but if you go here in general, this is the domain name you're using, and this is where the site really resides. So you can play around and put the site somewhere else so hackers can't find it. You can make it so people can register to the site. And if they register, make sure they register as a subscriber and not as an administrator. You get it? Because you can actually do that. You can set your server location and make sure the time matches, so that if you add a calendar plugin, that the calendar looks right. You can modify how things look, like the way date formats are, time formats are, and what days the week starts. If you have a calendar, this is going to set that. Under writing, you can set, remember under settings still, under writing, you can set some defaults on like what categories might be by default when you create a post. Allow your users to switch editors, like if they comment on stuff. This right here is something that people don't use, but it's pretty powerful. You can set up an email address to actually grab stuff and actually puts things in your post for you automatically by just sending an email. It'll be great for like a reporter on the field. They just send an email to send an email to some email address that shows up on the website. Probably pretty dangerous because it could have all kind of weird stuff in it. Under reading, under settings, you can set how your website is viewed by the public. Whether it comes to these static pages as your home page and where your blogs go, or your latest posts become your home page. Then you have no control over this stuff. Okay, and some other stuff here. You can discern. I have it right here. So search engines are not looking at my site. I'm discouraging that because I'm just playing around. Once you're done, you turn that off so it can be scanned.
So while you're building, how do you stop people from seeing it?
Right there. I turn it off so the search engines can't see it. I also put under construction so people can't see it. This is what.
Is that a plugin? Under construction is a plugin.
Yes, it is. So if I go to an incognito and go to that site.
Incognito?
Yeah, so I'm not logged in. See, I have it still. I actually have it public. Turn that off for a minute. Turn that on. All right, now it's under construction. So people could saw it earlier. So now it's like I'm not logged in.
Plugin you get, right? From under incognito site?
No, it's just, no. The plugin is just from within WordPress. I just happen to put a plugin called under construction.
Oh, okay.
So this is what people normally would see right now. They come to the domain name, they're just seeing it's under construction.
Okay.
Because I have that plugin turned on.
Okay.
And that is a plugin. It doesn't come with the system. That's why I didn't go over it.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, that's under your reading. Under discussion area, this is where people interact with your website. You can control how they interact. All this stuff. you can control.
Mhm.
You know, like what they do if they can log in and make comments and all this kind of stuff. So you just have to read it and do what it says. All right, now I have to actually, this is not my phone call. I have to log out of my dad's thing. Okay. So hold on 1 second. Let me log out. I gotta wait for it to go exactly to 5:30 to log out. So don't let me miss that time. Anyway, so this is all that kind of stuff. You can make it so that moderates the comments, you know, it changes disallowed keywords and different things. You can set all this. You can also set the way the avatars show, like that's up here, that little avatar. You can set it so it pulls your gravatar. Gravatar is a common avatar among websites. I actually have a gravatar. So if I use my email address at email@darnellsmith.com and I use gravatar, it'll show whatever picture I put over there at that website. Here also is the rating. Always keep a G unless you truly are going to show naked butts and stuff, because you will be dumped out of Google Map. Under general, remember I showed you media. This is how you control your media stuff. How you set that. Okay, I'm getting close here. Hold on. Resume my visit. Turn this stuff on and off.
You got 1 minute.
Yep, and I'm working it. I'm working it. A minute is actually a long time when you try to
Yes, when you wait.
like hold your breath. Try it.
Mhm.
Decline that. Yeah. Oh no. Okay. And I'm about ready to press my button. I forgot you guys can see my ugly faces, ain't you? I'm not looking at you guys. I'm waiting. Anyway, we got also
Now, press
permalink.
it now.
Oh, here we go. Yep, right there. Complete the visit. Confirm. This is a pain in the neck.
Mm.
Then I have to sign it. And then I am off the clock. Okay, now. So permalinks. A permalink is also something you need to worry about. Permalinks are how it controls the way the domain URL looks. Let's say, notice how right here under the contact us, it says julieblair.com/contact us. It actually took the name of the page and made it part of the URL, right? That's controlled by something called, under settings, called permalinks. Okay, I told it to use the post name as part of the permalink. You can do all kind of weird stuff, but why would you want it to say julieblair.com/P=123 when it can say the actual name, and that name is also something that's SEOable. So let's say if you made, like if you go to my website, which uses the same theme, I have my own personal site, darnellsmith.com, where I talk about crazy crap. Okay, you walk into my world when you come in, not my website. Anyway, notice how there's all this stuff, right? So it's darnellsmith.com. Let's say I wanted to give somebody my resume. Well, I just type in resume. And what would come up? My resume.
Mm.
You see? So it becomes very, what do you call it? SEOable and also easy to remember. You know, if about me, darnellsmith.com, about me. And notice it says
Oh,
about
okay.
me.
Right.
And there you go. You know, I fight with religion and science. Anyway, another issue. All right, so you go back, that's permalinks. So I always pick the post name. You can make some wacky thing if you really wanted to by using all these little things. You can make up whatever you want, you know, depending on how you want your site to be. The privacy, that comes with all WordPress sites now. It'll create a privacy page for you that you can go modify. Notice I have one, privacy. And there it is right there. Hit that button there.
Where'd it go? Okay, that's the privacy policy.
Yeah, that's right. It makes it up. Then you go back and modify it yourself, you know, because now everything requires a privacy policy now. All right. We also have, oh, and they also require sometimes if you're taking a feedback form in the privacy policy, what you're going to do with that data. That's not normal. The anti-spam thing is not part of it. Gutenberg is not part of it, but Gutenberg is a way WordPress works where you use blocks. I always disable it. So I go in and I add a form. I add a plugin that disables Gutenberg, right? Right, where's it at? Right there, disable Gutenberg. And I also use the classic editor, because if you don't, it'll look really different. It'll be all these blocks and things that you move around to make your pages, and it's sort of complicated. It's powerful, but it's complicated. So I don't teach that. Okay. You go back to settings, and notice that's under construction. So when you add plugins, it adds stuff to your menus because you've added plugins for it. So these menus are going to grow and modify themselves according to how many plugins you add to your website. Notice contact form. That's the one, contact 47, that we're not using. So I'm just going to go and deactivate it and watch it disappear. See, contact disappeared out of the menu because we're using this thing called WP forms. That's why it's now in the menu. Okay. And as you add stuff, this add new will change. Notice add new now has add a new form. So things modify stuff according to the plugins and power that you give it. I want to disable this notice right here. Okay. It wants to install it because it came with the theme. Users. This is how you see the people that are on your website. This is also how you can add new super users. You can add a user and give that information and set them to whatever you want them to be. So you
they can be an administrator.
You can add an administrator, so you can have multiple people working on your website if you want.
Okay.
And it'll send an email to them, for their logins. There's also how you can go delete people that are in the system. Under tools, this is how you would import and export your website and move it around. You can export and import personal data if you want. And that's it, actually. There's no more. All this other stuff is from extra plugins. So that is the standard. Any question now? I almost got it. Almost had it to 5:30. Any questions? Let me go turn on my.
I just want to know if I did that export import and it set on my phone to do something else. I don't know what the something else was.
I would have to know exactly what you're doing to be able to know, to be able to help you. Okay.
This is what it says. This is a WordPress extended RSS file generated by WordPress. WordPress as an export of your site. It contains information, but it I don't know.
Did you say RSS?
Yes.
See, RSS, WordPress also has an RSS feed built into it, meaning that you can syndicate your data somewhere else. Okay. And that's under settings and that's under reading. You'll see you can modify how the RSS feed. See right there? Syndicate feeds show the most recent posts, basically these most recent posts, up to 10 of them. So you can turn that on. You can either make it 0 or whatever. And there's a link for that. So you can make it so one WordPress site can feed another website that can read RSS feeds.
Okay.
That's what that part.
I have a question. You said it doesn't matter whether it's .com or .org. When I try to put in Elementor, it pops up all this stuff like we have this special, and I already have SiteGround. So it's trying to sell me a package.
SiteGround is your hosting.
Right.
Which is independent of Elementor. Elementor is something that works with WordPress.
Okay, so
hosting is where your website is stored.
Right. And it kind of keeps it safe and all that kind of stuff, right?
It does, but it's picture it's like that's the hard drive where your website resides.
Okay.
Now, security on or not, that's another issue. But that's all that is. Elementor is nothing to do with that. Elementor,
that's the theme.
That's a theme and plugins. It's a package.
Okay.
So if you have WordPress and you have Elementor, then you have that.
If I have WordPress
and then you buy Elementor, you install that into your WordPress.
Okay. And what would SiteGround do? What is that doing?
SiteGround is where your website is stored.
Okay. I'm still learning. So.
Like the hard drive, you pick up a hard drive,
Mm-hmm.
like an external hard drive, like this thing right here. This is an
Mhm.
external hard drive. This
Right.
would be considered SiteGround, and your website
Okay.
is stored inside there.
Okay.
Now, what you do to your website is a whole nother issue. You can add Elementor to the website, whatever. It will still be storing on that device.
Right.
That's your SiteGround.
Okay.
It could
So
be
how
like
does
GoDaddy.
WordPress come in? Why?
WordPress is the website itself. WordPress is the website builder itself.
Okay. Okay. I'm still learning. So
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's do you know about Word at all? Like Microsoft Word?
yes.
Microsoft Word is a software developed to develop pages.
Right.
WordPress is also like Word. It produces pages.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That whole thing is stored on your hard drive, right?
Right.
So WordPress is stored on someone else's hard drive that's in cyberspace.
Right.
So that's the same difference,
Okay.
if that works. I don't know if that helps or not.
It does. I just didn't know the difference between WordPress and WordPress.org and WordPress.com. I got this.
That's a whole nother issue. That's a
Okay.
third issue.
Okay.
WordPress.com is where WordPress is held for professionals. WordPress.org is where people can get free WordPress blogs and stuff like that. And I'm showing you right now is a self-installed, self-hosted WordPress, which is different from both of those.
Okay.
Because this is WordPress being stored on your own server that you control away from .org and away from .com of WordPress. It's your own WordPress sitting on your own server with your own .com or .org or .live, according to what you have.
Okay.
Now, I know your head's about ready to explode.
It is.
I can see the smoke.
You see it coming up like a locomotive. But
all right, so that's basically it. So that concept is sort of hard if you don't know what's going on. So it's going to take you a minute to get the concept. Then once that concept happens, all the stuff will start to fall together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And remember, I teach at the college. I teach electronics. So most people come and don't know anything. And it takes a few terms before they go, that's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm used to it. Any other questions?
Sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
That's exactly right. You always don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Until you know.
The only thing I know is that I don't know anything. So if I'm building a site for somebody, can I build it out on WordPress and then like host it off of like Netlify? It's like the same as SiteGround, right? Netlify.
You can host the WordPress anywhere that can handle PHP WordPress.
Okay, so I can host it anywhere.
Host it anywhere that can handle PHP.
Okay, so if they have their own domain and their own host, I can just build it here and move it to them.
Yeah, or you can just get their login, install WordPress, and build it on their site, and just turn it off.
But then they have access to everything.
Well, not really, because if you create the logins, they won't have the logins until you give it to them. Like for instance, I have about 2,000 clients or so hosting on my servers. Some build their own stuff and some I build. I can't really access their stuff 100%. I can't access their emails. I can't access their personal information. I can access the websites that they install if they install them from within the panel. You know what I mean? Okay. But if not, then I don't have any access. Now I have control to me. I go delete it and do whatever if I'm on the back end, but you don't want to do that. You know, probably one client. That's been the end of that. But what you're trying to see, what you're still used to in your head is building locally and then posting it at some server. So you don't do that here. You can, but you don't normally do that here. Normally what you do is you build it in a sandbox so that it's not really live. And then once you're live, and then once you make it live, then it goes to the domain. Okay. So my
sandbox is still my sandbox, even if I log in.
It would still be your sandbox. They wouldn't be able to get to it. They would know it would be there. It'd be a funky URL that no one even knows about, and that would be the
Okay.
website until you tell the system to say go live, then it goes to the .com or whatever it is.
Okay. And all of those defaults that, you know, like the discouraged search engines from indexing, like for the SEO, all of that by default is checked until I
No, it's
publish.
not. No,
It's
it's not.
So you have
So
to
I
go
had
in
to
and
go.
make sure
I
that's on.
literally had to go in here and click this discourage
Okay.
because normally it's open. And let me show you a trick. If you really want to spread this website like crazy, the way websites work for Google is that activity. So a static page really doesn't do anything for it. It
Right.
really looks for movement in the site. That's why it's always good to have a blog page no matter what you do. You know what I mean? Because this is why. Let me see if I turn this off, right? And say save. Look what I have all of a sudden on another page. I'll show you. Now if I go to discussion, I think it's discussion. No, it's not discussion. Where is it at? Is it under writing? It's under writing. Now all of a sudden, look at that box right there. That's a pinging service. So now every time I add a new blog post, it'll ping the server and tell it new page is there. Come Google, come scan me, Google. But here's another trick. See right here, updating services. I right mouse click that, open up another tab. Let me move this dumb thing out of my way again. Let me say hide floating menu again. If I go to this other tab, notice it gives me a list of all the pinging services, right? I take these pinging services,
Oh, you
copy
put them all
those,
in there.
and I put them all up in there.
Okay.
Now I save it. Now every time I post something, everybody gets a notification that I did something new.
Wait, how does that work? You go to Google?
Nope, I'd have to start all over again because you missed a whole lot.
I sure did. I'm looking like he's moving real fast.
How can I, let me see how to do this.
From unchecking the default.
Yeah, I had to go to reading,
Reading.
and uncheck that, which gives me access to, under writing, this box. This box normally wouldn't be there.
Okay.
Now from this box, I go to that link right there to get this list of all these pinging services.
Okay.
I highlight those, copy them over to this box and update it. Now, whenever I upload any new content that is a post, not anything else, but a post, these pinging services come and take a look at the site and scan the whole site.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's how I've taken websites up to first place in 1 week. You see?
Smart.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
you can
I'm
put
gonna
that
show
on
you,
your profile.
I'll show you another trick. This trick is not known to a lot of people. Let me discourage this thing again. Let's say we go to Google, any place, and let's just look for something like, let me just go to Google. And give me a subject.
Cups.
What?
Cups.
Cups. Okay, so first off, that's a generic, so we'll have to say cups, like in York, PA. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So notice all these cups, right? Let's say I click on one of these. Actually, I don't want to click directly on it. Let me go to maps rather. And find the businesses under that thing, cups. All right, see all these right here?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the businesses in York, PA, where I live, of, I guess, cup people, or people have cups or something. Pretty generic name. That's sort of a bad thing, but
Yeah.
so let's say it's that. All right. Now we know barbecue cups. I didn't even know that even there. Dunkin', let's see. Coffee cups. So it looks like coffee places are showing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we click on one of these. Well, notice right now that if we click on, let's say we click on the first one and it shows up here. All right. Notice that its keyword is Korean restaurant. We can go and steal people's keywords. Let's go over here. All right. That they've done all the research on. Cafe. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can go steal these keywords. They've already done the money for it and everything else. Look, coffee shop. We wouldn't know that they're using that keyword. So we go and steal all the top keywords of all the top people that came up in something you're searching for, put them in your site as keywords. And all of a sudden, in a week's time, you will be right up there with them. Because
Now,
those
where do you put
keywords,
the keywords? Where do you
just put
copy?
put them inside your content body. Okay,
Okay.
talk something about those. Oh, and you can also go here and add another plugin. And this is what I do. I add a plugin and we'll say SEO. I like the one by Yoast. We add this one right here, install that one. I like this one because this one will tell you what's wrong with each page and it will talk you through it and show you a color, let you know when it's in green, when it's perfectly SEO'd.
Oh, I
So
see
let me-
that red, yellow, green.
Yeah, so let me add it and watch this. That's why you have red, yellow. Yeah, that right there. I'll show you. This becomes a no-brainer. So let's go to now to any page that we've been, and this works on pages and posts, by the way. Let's go to a page. Notice all of a sudden that you have red, these dots now. See that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me minimize this thing so I can't see you guys all of a sudden. Then if I click on a page, notice that I don't see it here. It normally puts like a dot right here somewhere. Oh,
Down there.
well, it would, oh, here it is right here. See, it says readability good, SEO not available. Okay. So this home is really so generic, it doesn't mean anything. So let's add another page. Let's add even a blog post. Let's add a post and we'll SEO it right quick. So let's add a post called yellow dogs. Okay. I'll go here, go to the web somewhere and type in yellow dogs. All right, so up comes yellow dogs, right? So first I'm gonna go grab me an image or two so I can make a page. I like these little guys. You save them guys. Even though we're doing something wrong, we're stealing images from the web. We shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Okay. So, and let me also go to some website that talks about yellow dogs. Okay. 8 yellow dog breeds. There we go. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So let's just get some content. I'm just going to highlight this content and steal it, even though we're not supposed to. I just hit a wrong button here. Cancel that. Try to print it. Hold on. I'm trying to go too fast. Highlight that. Copy it. Go back to my website. Paste that content in there. Go get my little dog that I just stole. Open up. Upload it. And get that little yellow dog. Insert it to my content body. Okay. And I can even go and get a different yellow dog for like a header. I mean, for the featured image. Normally that would be a longer one, but so let me get this little guy. Save him. And I'm going to change this image out for that one. Upload that guy. Get him. Insert him. And I'm going to change this featured image to the longer one. Okay, that's that one, right? Now we're talking about yellow fur, yellow whatever. So what we want to do now is, because we're talking about yellow fur in the content, we'll change this to yellow fur. That would be our key phrase, yellow fur. Okay. And that yellow dogs, we'll make sure that somewhere in the body, we talk about yellow dogs, but we want to put that in a heading 2 format. Yellow dogs, okay? That becomes prominent. Notice it matches this guy, which also matches the keyword, right? Then we go in here and take the first sentence of this stuff and put it in this area, in the right here, in the meta description. Okay.
Mhm.
And we don't want to go too big, so it'll tell you if it's green or not. So we'll just have it like that. So we got yellow dogs. We got yellow fur, so we probably need yellow dogs. Yellow dogs right here. Okay. All right, so that's about right. We got that in there. Let's update that. And let's see if we can get a change in color. All right, see what we got. So now our SEO is okay. You see that? As long as we get okays, we're good, but we're not perfect. So now let's look at our posts in the list form. Notice it went from red to like that little orange color. So we're getting better in the SEO, right? So now we can go back and look. Notice it shows right there. See, there's the orange dot. So we know on this page what our SEO is. We can go down here and see what's wrong with it. So I think we can go here and say, I think it's under here, see, under readability. So we got that stuff great, but now we need to modify this stuff. See, it's telling you all the things you need. You see what I'm saying?
So that's when you install Yoast?
I installed Yoast SEO. So I like to do that because it helps me with the SEO, and you only want to do that once. And then when you publish it, then when it scans it, the SEO is really good. Okay. But anyway, if we were doing that, we'd go back to this thing when we did yellow dogs, and we would go under all, no, under maps. And that would catch businesses that are local to me. See, yellow dog barn, let me see, yellow dog discs. I mean, it'd probably be better if you did Labrador retrievers, but anyway, you'll notice if we click on one of these, look at the keyword, pet sitter. We go down to this next one. Look, veterinarian. Music store. Now you know that's just a wacky one. Let's see. Look at that, pet groomer. See, this is how you, instead of you paying for it, you can go find an opponent that's a competitor of yourself and search for somebody who would you be searching for you, and you can go steal all their keywords, put in your website, and you can jump up with the kings. We call it stealing from the king. Anyway, that's a trick.
That's why people always say, oh, they got our SEO up to like we're in the top of the search engine whenever they come to work with us. I'm like, oh, no wonder.
Yeah, they just stole this, and then they ain't. I mean, it's public, so you can't really steal it. It's a public thing,
Yeah.
And sometimes you can do stuff like this too. You can click on something, go to the site. Let's see, where's the site? They don't have a site. We go to the site. Huh. Some of these people, I believe, in websites.
A lot of places don't have them now.
Let me see.
Those are my clients. I go get them.
Yeah. So here we go. I do the same thing. I used to go to Craigslist and see all the people selling stuff. And I go tell them, hey, I can build a website for you. Anyway, so if you look at this site, we can right mouse click and do the page source. And we can also steal their keywords from in here. So right here, look, there's meta description. And we can find if they have a tag form. If they don't, we can just go take them. Title. Yeah, they're not using them. So you can also tell what they built the website in too. But you can tell by the URLs. Like this is a custom site. If I go to somewhere else, like let me go to this one here. See what we got. All right, let's view this source on this guy. All right, this is also custom. I can tell by the layout. See, it's all done in native code.
Mm.
Half of those are notes to themselves.
Yeah, you see that?
I'm like, all these comments in there, but it's so that if someone else works on it, they know what to.
Right. Yeah. So I just go back and they're using Shopify files. So anyway, I mean, you can just, this is what SEO guys are paid, get paid for. They go and look at your competition and basically rip them all apart and give you their stuff and then try to push you up over top of them.
So WordPress does everything that you need it to do.
Yeah, if you need a function, you just go download a plugin. You got a new function. Oh, what I didn't go over with you is this. Under plugin, I'm sorry. Under, I need to really do this. 2 more things if you have time.
Mm-hmm.
Menus. Like I told you, I have it set so the menus go in automatically. But notice, this is stuff in here that don't belong, so I'm going to kill this one. But basically, you create a menu file, and then you look at your pages, and you drag and drop. You add them to your menu, and you can add them to the system. Let's say we wanted this to be a sub menu. We can just move that and put it under there. That's a sub menu now. If we want a sub, we just put it under that. That's a sub.
Oh.
If we want it to be top level, we just put it all the way back to the edge. So if I were to save that menu now and go back and look at the website, notice privacy policy is going to disappear because it's underneath home. See, it's a sub menu now.
Oh.
Because we just drop and dragged it. Now, if I add this underneath that and save it, and refresh it, notice now it's that, and then look, it's a sub of a sub.
Okay.
And depending upon the theme, it's going to look cute or not. Like I like this theme because see, it's cute. It's got a little.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to see what it looks like on a mobile phone, just break it out of its full screen mode, right, and make it smaller. And Google will automatically at about 600 flip it to its tablet version. See it flipped the tablet. Notice the menu changed, and now it's a drop down. You see?
Yes.
Oh, now it's a hamburger. Okay, so it'll automatically make it a hamburger.
Yes. But now if you go like this, now it's for a phone. Notice how the icons got even bigger. See, look at that. See, watch. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're in the edit mode still, but look, everything's still moving on the way it's supposed to. That's how you can tell if it's responsive or not. Notice the side menu moved underneath itself. See that side menu? Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Watch. Boom. It'll move in a minute. Whack. See it moved over there? It literally is a different site. It's really doing different things.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's how you know if it's responsive or not. And for you as a web developer, Miss Kimberly, the best thing I do is I go
web developer.
No. I go find sites that are screwy. And I'll find a website, but look bad, I'll shrink it and say, look what happens when you shrink it. It's not mobile friendly. You know what I mean? And you'll notice it's all messed up, or it's like way over to the side. You got to use this thing to drag it back and forth. I said, you're losing money like this. Let me show you what it could be. You see what I mean? And then you get your client.
I don't have to write any media queries. I can just put it in here and boom.
You got it. Done deal. Yep, it's all ready to go.
Wow.
And you build websites?
I do.
Wow.
Wow. I gotta get you.
I build websites because of this. This is my company also, right here.
Where is it?
Business in the Black. You see?
Okay.
And see, my prices are ridiculously low. So that's why I have a lot of people that actually sell my services at their own and they buy them from me. See right here? Look, basic sites, $99, $199, $2.
Okay, I need you then. I just need you. That's all.
What I do. So if I do this, if I hit packages, look, then I have them all set up. They're all basic standard packages, fully, see, they're responsive.
Mm-hmm.
So I show that. But look, There's basic sites, standard sites, e-commerce sites, deluxe sites, ultimate sites, and niche sites.
Okay, let's
The
do
whole
business.
package. But that's how it works.
I like to
Oh.
do. I like to be able to design it and whatever, because I like doing that.
Well,
So-
let me tell you how I go about building sites.
Okay.
The client actually builds the whole entire website for me.
Okay.
All I am is just the editor. So I
Okay.
have the client. If you notice, I have something called 5 steps right there. You see that?
Okay.
Under these 5 steps, and let me go to step 1.
You
They
ask
first,
them for a spec, like a
Pardon me?
spec. You ask them for a spec, and you build it, or
no,
like,
I don't even do it like that. I ask them first to pick a package, right?
Oh.
Set package. Almost any package will handle whatever anybody wants. When it's so, if it's super custom, then it's just one of the $3.99 ones. I don't charge you more than that, okay? Because it's just that simple. All right.
Who hosts it?
Because,
How, we have control over it.
of
That
course,
was my biggest thing.
yeah. Once you give it, you give them the logins, and they control it from that on. Because remember, I push fire the webmaster. You don't have your car repaired and take your repair guy home. You have your car repaired, you work on it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Okay.
just like your car when you buy it, you don't keep taking it back to the dealership when you need to change it or whatever. You do your own stuff. Anyway.
So what's the 99 cents? 99 cents. What's the 99?
Well, look, I'm telling you. Okay, so the bottom line is, when I do these packages, the first package is a basic package because they own their own domain, they own their own hosting, and I'm only going to do 5 pages. 5 had one finger missing. Only 5 pages for them. Okay. Well,
Right.
guess what pages come from? They come from the client. They're going to send me what's on all those 5 pages. And one of those pages might be a contact page that I'll build for them, you know, because this has the data inside. But I'm not doing any work. What am I doing? I have them pick their own theme that's free, unless they want to pay for a theme from like somebody like ThemeForce, which is my favorite place to go. Now, the difference is with a standard package and a $99 package is, now I'm also now going to get you your hosting and your domain name. I'm going to pay for that in the package. You see? So one, they paid for everything and I'm just doing the labor. The other, I'm also paying for the domain and everything for them and also doing the labor. Okay. And
So but
also,
now if I have SiteGround, I already have SiteGround. I
right,
paid.
so you'd be a $99 kind of person if SiteGround can handle WordPress. And you can
Okay.
keep it under 5 pages. Now, you know, you can go add as more pages as you want. I'm just going to do your first 5.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Then
Yeah.
the e-commerce one is, all I'm doing is now installing WordPress. I mean, installing WooCommerce and setting up your e-commerce system. I'm not going to add your packages. I'm not going to add your products for you. You're going to add the products. If you have
Okay.
me add it, I'm going to charge you $5 a product.
So now I can add the theme I want.
Yes, you can. And you can modify it and change it later. But guess what? If you screw it up, it's going to cost you $35 an hour for me to fix it.
Like, what am I going to do to screw it up?
People screw them up all the time. They put in new theme, they get stuff all over the place, and they call me to fix it.
Right. Okay.
All right. So anyway, now if we move on up to $2.99, all I'm doing now is adding more plugins, the stuff that's set up for a membership engine. You know what I mean? So I'm just adding more plugins. It's just more labor. And then the ultimate one is almost everything, where I can build, you know, a full social network if you want. It's just
And
more.
how much is that?
$3.99.
And I couldn't screw that up, right?
You can screw up anything. Like I built this website here called York PA Live. Okay. This is a social media system. I haven't even published it. I just built it because I was tired of somebody else's. So I just built my own. So this is like a combination. You know the website nextdoor.com?
Yes.
This does everything Nextdoor does, but more. Okay, with the users and everything. So you have users in here. You have the news media stuff. You have people you can talk to back and forth. You have your own profiles. Matter of fact, I see somebody in I didn't see before, but all kind of stuff. You got member areas. You can also list things for sale. I did this whole thing. This is all done through WordPress. And notice the header.
Wow.
The header is like 3D. You see this? Look how the header's moving.
That's nice.
And it's also responsive. You see? Look at that. and it puts it in this fashion. So you don't need a mobile app. When you have a responsive system, it replaces an app. You don't want to have two different websites, because the app is a website that's maintained for a mobile device. It's stupid. It's so stupid to have an app when you can have one website and do everything and just have them bookmark the dang thing. You know what I mean? On their phone. So, and then there's also plugins where people can click on to make it so it bookmarks on your phone. You know, so it gives them that option. So you can say, download the app, but all they're doing is bookmarking it. That's all they're doing.
Okay.
Anyway.
I guess you can send me that information, or, because you got my email.
Business in the Black.
Wait.
I'll text it to you.
Yeah,
remember, I ain't selling nothing.
I know.
Oh, no, that's good. Oh, I was going to say, so when I have a client and they ask me about something I don't know how to do, I can say, let me work with my team on that, and then I'll get you an estimate. And you are my team, and you're going to get your money in the estimate.
That's exactly right. That's how everybody works with me.
Oh, so I like that.
So I have 67 webmasters that have their own businesses, but they have me do the work on the back end. And they've gotten so good that all I do is now go in, install the system, set it up, put the theme in they want, set up all the back end, then I hand it off to them. They do all the rest of the work. You see what I'm saying?
It's 214. I can't see that. 515 or 8. No, I can't see that.
No, it's 214-815-9308.
9308.
08.
Okay. We'll talk, Darnell.
There you go. I just sent it in a text anyway.
Okay.
And let me tell you another trick too. 9308. What I do is I always go get, if you notice, I have a Texas phone number because I'm from Texas. Notice that I have a York number too. See that? I just go to Google Voices and go get me a number and then put it on a website and have it forwarded to my phone from the local area I want to work in.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That way you're more legit. People like to work with people in their own area, but I could be in another state.
Okay.
Because you can talk to me anytime you want to. So
are you're both in Pennsylvania right now?
I literally bought a house right here. I'm living in my house in York, Pennsylvania.
And Carolyn, you're in Pennsylvania right now?
No, I'm in Connecticut. Where are you?
Oh, okay. I'm in Raleigh. I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
See?
We're East Coast people, no matter what.
Yeah. I just moved here from Arizona. I was in Arizona for 17 years.
Oh,
but,
really?
But that's
I was in Texas for 21.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Yep. But it wasn't that place has become different.
Well, this is wonderful. Thank you. I really appreciate this. This takes a lot of work away, and I will be contacting. You will be my team when there's something.
He's gonna be my team.